technological advancement that's going to happen in the events ecosystem? Like, is it apart from security?
More security through blockchain, for example, and more AI to facilitate the actual events experience for everyone.
And what about the next thing that's going to take the leap in the blockchain industry? Like, is it the CBDCs or the RWAs? What's your thought on that?
So, CBDCs, this is really regulatory stuff, and obviously that's a whole ball game, and that's...
What Amar Khalifi is, and what's the moat, and what's the innovation side of you?
Well, frankly, I'm just trying to solve problems.
Events look chaotic on the surface. Underneath, our guest sees the broken infrastructure. Layers stitched together, security added after the fact. He keeps returning to the same instinct. Don't patch, replace the foundation. One system, one flow. Blockchain for trust, AI for scale. Not because they are fashionable, but because they disappear when they work. He talks about the hype as human behavior, not technology, and the value as the only thing that survives the noise. Our guest today is Amar Khalifi, the co-founder and CTPO of Venflow, and this conversation is about building quietly while the crowd watches the hype. So being at conferences, events, and at the playground of technology, there are multiple brands that come up, like Venflow, right? So first of all, I'll ask you, hi, how are you?
Doing amazing. Another beautiful day.
Wonderful.
Enjoying the weather
Yes.
in Qatar.
Great. So how was your overall experience at the event?
Really good. Very excited to see all the AI companies that are out here. A lot of people are building. Founders are really trying to solve issues that really impact various verticals, and that's really amazing. And it's striking to see how there is a whole overlap between what we are doing within the Realize It group and what we see out here. So it's very good overall.
And Venflow is specifically solving issues related to conferences and
Events
and
management as a
yes.
whole, really. So what we're trying to really resolve with Venflow is the question is the following: how do we provide one infrastructure layer that resolves all the events management issues that we have been advised of by various actors in the field? And so we start with the actual discovery process. That means events organizers are able across the platform to discover the vendors, the venues with which they want to work, to allow them to plan the actual events. And then from then on, we allow them to do the secure ticketing, whether be it on primary market or secondary markets, integrate dynamic pricing to increase revenue caption where necessary, and then move on to the actual facilitation of on-site consumption. And this today is being done through various integrations that we're working on, depending on the actual regions that we're looking at to launch Venflow. And so by doing this, we believe that we will be covering all the issues that we have today within events. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what Venflow is about.
And as you mentioned, security is also one of the key factors, and that's your second playground, right? Security, technology like blockchain and AI.
Absolutely.
So how do you see which is the next technological advancement that's going to happen in the events ecosystem? Like, is it apart from security?
Well, so the way our view on events today is that of a necessity to integrate more security through blockchain, for example, and more AI to facilitate the actual events experience for everyone. And so from our perspective, these are going to be the main two technologies impacting the events management world in the coming years.
And as you mentioned about blockchain, so I've been into this market for a very long time, studying different blockchain projects and multiple white papers. That keeps me really excited to
Sure.
what is coming up in this technology. But in the initial stage, like back in 2009, when
Yeah.
the first emerge happened,
Right.
it was like okayish for a few people for a few years. Then the big bubble comes in, right? When there's millions of ICOs and scams happening,
Sure.
and then it burst, right?
Yeah.
It kind of settled down now.
Thankfully.
Thankfully, yes, and it's a bit mature as compared to last
It is.
couple of years.
Definitely.
Similarly, we are seeing the bubble of AI
It is.
happening right now.
Certainly is, yeah.
So, how do you see how soon this bubble would burst, and how the blockchain and AI would settle down
Right.
with what?
So that's a really interesting question in the sense that these bubbles are not really a function of technology. They're
Yes.
really a function of human nature
Yes.
in reality. So the hype, it's just hype cycles that we have to go through. I think that in AI we're pretty much at peak hype cycle right now. But at the same time, the promise of the technology is such that all this dust, when it settles, is going to result into really, really, really good companies solving real issues for real consumers.
Yes.
And similarly in blockchain, when things started out, you mentioned ICOs and so on, well, we had the same thing. And right now we're seeing less and less interest as a whole for the blockchain
Yes.
space, but at the same time, the technology is really actually solving use cases, is really actually helping people, like we are actually doing with Venflow for the events management space. And so yeah, it's not really technology driven. In terms of how all of this is going to settle, I think it's all going to be good, you know. So we just have to ride it out, I think.
And what about the next thing that's going to take the leap in the blockchain industry? Like, is it the CBDCs or the RWAs? What's your thought on that?
So, you know, CBDCs, this is really regulatory stuff, and obviously that's a whole ball game, and that's I'm not gonna get into that because obviously it delves into politics and so on. But certainly, what we can see from where we sit as promising today is ensuring that blockchain is the actual security layer. In terms of use cases, obviously there is what we're doing in the events management space. But you've mentioned RWA, and that's certainly certainly promising. It's certainly promising. It really, I think its main promise is to allow people to invest with little amounts of money into potentially very big projects. So it's just fractionality. At the end of the day, the blockchain is going to replace something that was done previously, like time sharing in real estate. This is not new. This is over 25 years that it exists. You had time sharing. Time sharing is just fractionality, right?
Yes.
And so RWA, you're just basically fractionalizing a building or whatever, and you're selling tokens of it. You're selling fractions of it. So here again, blockchain is just a technology that replaces a way things were done. And from that point of view, it's positive, right? Because it's actually really adding value. It's really increasing security. It really is simplifying the actual back-end processes. It's allowing an actual user experience that is seamless for the consumer. And that is, at the end of the day, what we're trying to achieve, right?
Yes, absolutely. Let's talk more about you. Apart from these different technologies that you work with in events and conferences, what Amar Khalifi is, and what's the moat and what's the innovation side of you?
Well, frankly, I'm just trying to solve problems.
Yola.
That's all I'm trying to do, and I'm excited about blockchain. I'm excited about AI, and that's why I integrate these two core technologies in everything that I try to solve. From a background standpoint, I'm a technical guy. Have over 20 years experience in infrastructure, architecture, security, and so I bring that background with me to actually build everything that I'm doing right now. And so yeah, I'm just happy to be able to actually build these platforms that actually solves real use cases for consumers, for everyday consumers, and that's really amazing.
And if someone is willing to follow your path or getting inspired by you, what should be the first few steps that you recommend as, like, this is the core 3 things that you should follow?
I think you just need to follow what you're interested in. You know, humans will always be very good at whatever they are interested at, and they will also be much happier doing whatever that is that it's interests them. So, you know, just do whatever interests you, you know, and try to solve real problems and add value. I mean, that's ultimately what it's all about, adding value. And so yeah, if at the end of the day we're able to do that, it's amazing.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Amar, for these amazing insights. And for the closing statement, I would like to ask, what's your next step apart from Venflow and other brands that you created? What's going to be the next leap that you're going to take?
So the next leap is something that we're already working on today. It's in the HR tech field, and we're building essentially the tech recruitment platform that integrates blockchain on one hand and AI on the other to facilitate end-to-end contracts and permanent staff delivery across the EMEA. Today we're actually providing this service on an agency basis, and we're actually we're doing quite well at that. And we have already the AI stack that's in place today. Now the next step is to actually build the SaaS platform and integrate the blockchain bits into it and deliver it as a service to everybody. So that can be big enterprises, can be SMEs, it can be recruiters, talent agencies. They can all use our platform and find the best talent there is for whatever constructs or project they're working on.
Wonderful. Thank you so much,
You're
Amar,
very welcome.
for this amazing
Thank you for your
conversation.
time.
And it's wonderful talking to you.
Likewise, thank you.
Thank you.